I think we can.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Super. I have a quiet voice, so nice to meet all of you. I've known many of you. All right. Dear Superintendent Caruso and members of the board, I am writing to you as both a parent and an educator with a long-standing connection to the Bolton School District. All three of my children have attended the schools for their entire educational journey. One a recent graduate, one is a high school senior, and one is a seventh grader. In addition, I was proud to spend nearly 2 decades of my career in Bolton as a teacher and dedicated member of the leadership team. Sorry, I'm shaky because I'm pretty emotional. Anyway, I'll keep going. All right. My family's ties to this community run deep, which makes me especially invested in raising a concern that has been ongoing for over 15 years. During this time, my children have repeatedly missed important school events, including picture days, athletic competitions, festivals, homecoming, and college fairs, because they were scheduled on Jewish holidays. And most recently, this year's Bolton Central School Walkathon is being held on Yom Kippur, again, forcing families into a painful choice between practicing their religious observances and participating in meaningful school traditions. On one particular year, I brought my daughter at the end of the day just so she could take a yearbook picture with her soccer team, and she has missed school for a holiday observance. And you know what? Instead of feeling included, she was questioned by another student about why was she there when she had been absent, which left her feeling singled out. These experiences underscore how scheduling decisions can unintentionally make students feel excluded or unwelcome. While the intent behind the scheduling may not have been discriminatory, the impact has been significant. Our family often talks about equity, diversity, and inclusion at home. These values are essential to raising empathetic, engaged young people. Yet, when events are scheduled on major religious holidays, families like ours are put in the position of either staying true to our beliefs or conforming to the norm in order to fit in. This is not only a personal struggle for us, but for other families as well, especially those who may not feel comfortable speaking out. I recognize that a number of students in our district observing Jewish holidays may be small, but the broader issue is about inclusivity and respect for all faiths. Other religious observances can also be overlooked, and I believe Bolton schools should strive to be proactive and thoughtful, much as other nearby districts have been. It also feels particularly ironic that in our schools will not allow the mention of Halloween during Spirit Week in the name of inclusivity, yet continue to overlook the impact of scheduling conflicts with religious observances. If we are mindful of cultural celebrations like Halloween, surely we can extend the same care and consideration to sacred days of faith. I deeply respect the hard work and care that goes into running our schools. And I share this not to criticize, but to encourage us to do better. By making a commitment to avoid scheduling major events on religious holidays, Bolton Public Schools has an opportunity to create a more equitable, welcoming environment for all students and families. Thank you for taking the time to hear my shaky voice and my friends' families' experiences and taking steps that will make our district more inclusive. My friend would be glad to offer further perspective or be part of any future discussions. So I just wanted to share that on behalf of her. It was hard to read it before I came here. It's hard to read it now, but I was happy to have the opportunity to read it in front of all of you. So I hope you consider her letter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think it was more useful coming from you than from me. So is there anyone else this evening who would like to make a public comment? Right, hearing none. Do we have any additions to the agenda? All right. On to routine business items and the approval of minutes. Do we have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the September 11th, 2025 Board of Education business meeting?
I'll second.
Is there anyone who has any questions, edits, or comments on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining?
I will abstain.
Carries on to Board of Ed committee reports and finance.
Sure. So Finance Committee met this morning. In your kit, you'll see there were a few items included. The first one, looking for a motion for the approval of two transfers, quite immaterial. The first one is a $14 reclass for science to cover the shortfall of subscription for Counselor Science. So from instructional supplies to online subscription services. And then the second one is for $1,550, and that's just a transfer, to cover athletics, to cover gym equipment, et cetera. That's all within the athletics department budget.
So could we have a motion, please, to approve the transfers for September?
I'll make a motion to approve September's transfers. Second.
Is there anyone who has any questions or comments about these?
Just a quick question on the gym inspection. It says it's performed annually. So is this just moving it? Is this just like reclassifying the expense?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's with it.
Not that we didn't realize it was going to happen and then had to pay for a site. Thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
No one opposed or abstaining? We have more.
And then the second item, just to highlight that we're 13% expended, similar to last year at this time, there's nothing to call out. That's, outside of what we would have anticipated from a budgetary standpoint.
Thank you very much. Next is curriculum. The curriculum committee met yesterday. Just kind of did an overview recap of some of the summer work that happened in world language, social studies, or BHS World History 1 and 2, BHS Math, grades 4 and 5 ELA Math, and the EMR course that we approved last year. That was all worked on, completed. Also, we discussed how we are attempting to increase and strategies for increasing our ECE and AP courses, including reviewing the current offerings, which include 11 AP and ECE courses. And we do plan to add more. I believe a couple of the teachers, some of you who are here tonight, have already volunteered for next summer's course. What do we call it? The Institute? What was it? Was Monica here? I don't remember what the word was, but the summer.
AP Summer Institute.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For more summer institutionalizations and a couple of ECE courses also. Also discuss staffing and resource needs. And a new textbook proposal. We have one for economics that is currently being vetted and will be bringing forward in coming months. And then finally, also, there will be the first ever meeting of the Artificial Intelligence Planning Committee, which is in response to our new technologies that are making the teaching world more interesting. Also the realization that there have been no policies. We have no policies officially for how students are to use these tools, and the policy committee, whatever that will be in a couple of months, will look forward to crafting some new policies to address AI in our new modern world. And also, finally, our T-Val plan was approved over the summer. Have any questions on any of those things or finance? All right. On to BHS Student Representative Report.
So the musical was just announced. We will be putting on SpongeBob the Musical in February. Auditions will be held in late October, and we're all super excited to start. We're going to continue the new tradition of inviting BCS grade 8 students to participate. A few weeks ago, we had a spirit week and fun games during lunch in honor of Start with Hello Week that allows students to get to know one another and meet new people. We have our homecoming dance and flag football game coming up in early November. The dance will be Saturday, November 8th, and the flag football game will be the night before, Friday, November 7th. We had our college fair today. 89 colleges, military, and other post-secondary organizations joined us in the BHS gym. It was our biggest fair ever, and for the first time, grade 10 was also invited to visit the fair. Mr. Giansanti has also begun his one-on-one meetings with seniors. Some of the class of 2026 have worked with him to take advantage of the free admissions days, and already there have been over 50 applicants submitted from the class of 2026. This week, we have been going pink for October. At all of our sports games, we have been collecting donations, all going towards breast cancer research. On Friday, we will be wearing pink and collecting donations at the beginning of the day.
Our sports team have been working hard this season with records of 6 and 7 for girls soccer, 5 and 8 for boys soccer, 4 and 10 for girls volleyball, and the cross country team has gone 9 and 2 in the regular season and are the only Class S or Double S school to win 2 big invitationals. Yesterday, Bolton High School hosted the NCCC Cross Country Championships, where Bolton's own Dahlia Livingston and Dominic Lombardo won their respective races, earning the title of NCCC champions. Both runners also earned all conference honors. Next Saturday, the boys team will look to repeat as CIAC Class S champions. Last Thursday, we had Bolton 8th graders and Columbia 8th graders visit. We showed them around the school, having a small presentation at each elective. It was hugely successful. We also had our open house later that night, with many of the families returning and asking many questions. On November 3rd, we will have the National Honor Society induction. We are excited to induct the many new members this year.
Thank you very much. You are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you so choose, but if you have something to do, you're also welcome to. Thank you. All right, on to community meeting reports. Does anyone have any community meetings to report on?
PTA just had their walkathon. They raised over $24,000, and our admin all dressed up at the end in inflatable costumes. It was wildly enjoyed by the parents and students. They scheduled one for next year for September 30th. And then they have their trunk or treat coming up, a new location. It's at the high school. Next Friday, the 24th, it's from 5:30 to 7:30.
I attended the Bolton Scholarship Fund's first meeting of the new school year, which was in September. Our annual meeting is coming up later this month. We are recruiting, if anyone is interested in joining our board, looking for a few new directors, so please reach out to us if you're interested.
All right, is that all meetings? I think that's probably does it. We will now turn things over to the superintendent for tonight's superintendent's report.
Thank you. So as you know, our district strategic plan was supposed to expire last year, and this board extended it for one more year. So we're continuing that work this year. And tonight, our teachers, they're not here to hear my superintendent's report. They're here to report on the work that they're doing with the strategic plan right now. We're excited with the work that's going on. I've been really energized sitting in the meetings and listening to the principals and administrators talk about the work that's going on in the schools. One big focus area for us this year as a district is trying to make sure that everything is aligned and we're connecting the dots. So no matter what role you have in the district, you see your everyday work connected to the strategic plan. So I think that's happening right now, which is really exciting. Makes it more meaningful for everybody and meaningful for the day-to-day operations. Ms. Goldschneider and myself met with Kelly Lyman, who's going to be facilitating the development of our new strategic plan, which we're excited to get going on. The first planning meeting will be in January. I'll be talking to the leadership team about getting some representation from students, from staff, We're hoping to get a board member to be able to participate in that committee also. And really, this is a really important undertaking because the strategic plan is the roadmap for success for us. It's really the guide that it leads all of our work and is really critical that our work is aligned to it. And like I said, everything is coherent throughout the district. So that's been a big focus this year. Real excited to have the teachers. Thank you very much for coming this evening to talk about the current work you're doing that aligns right to the strategic plan, from teaching and learning, helping kids be successful in all areas of school life, being fiscally responsible. You hear some of that. How we're working to build, continue to strengthen our culture and climate in our buildings, in our district. So I'll turn it over now to Mr. Giard.
Thank you. Real quick, it is an amazing group, our leadership team, and I'm going to introduce everybody in a second, but they came together starting in the summer. So when the school year ends, it's not summertime. It's let's start working within the next first week or two of school getting out. We have our first meeting and we meet 2, 3, 4 times throughout the summer to come together to develop our plans. So I'm going to introduce our leadership team to you. And as I say your name, please stand. K-5 ELA, Wendy Pagani. 6-8 ELA, Heather Warner. K-5 Social Studies, Tracy Wunsch. 6-8 Social Studies, Peter Stanovich. K-5 Science, Sandy Mashricky. 6-8 Science, Allison Caruso. K-5 Math, Diana Michelocci. 6-8 Math, Ariel Fields. Special Areas, Jennifer Herrick. Physical Education, Stephanie Fouché. World Language, Chris Pallas. Music, Dan Ayer. CTE, Chris Jones. Special Education, Larry Ian. Special Ed, Rebecca Richard. And Instructional Coach, Jamie Canto. I say we give them a quick round of applause. Like I was saying, they do a tremendous amount of work having this evening. They're amazing and an integral part of, we call them the instructional leadership team, ILT, because they make a lot of our decisions about upcoming PD and all the work that we do. So thank you, everybody. I'm now going to call up Diana Michelocci and Larry Eaton to present our school plan.
Good evening. How are you? So Ms. Eaton and I are here tonight to talk about the BCS plan. And our first goal is, sorry, my glasses for this part, is student success. And Bolton Center School will challenge and prepare every student for success in school and life. We have our action steps. So our first one is maximizing the work of the leadership team, which you were just introduced to. The interventionists that we have in our building, whether they be the instructional coach, the math or the reading interventionist, and of course, all the departments in the building. Developing curriculum, creating and maintaining classroom environments so that we have conducive learning, conducive to learning. And then the next three I'm going to talk about together for those bullet points, because they really do just go hand in hand. So we just recently finished our first round of MTSS meetings at BCS, and our MTSS meetings are all about collaboration. So we come together with teachers in the building, the intervention team, and all the classroom teachers. We all have meetings. We talk about all the data we've collected, what we've known about the students since the beginning of the year until our meeting. And we really talk about what each student may need for any kind of intervention, whether it's in tier 1, which is the classroom, in tier 2, which may be a small group in the classroom, or a tier 3 intervention and they may be pulled out of the classroom. So we focus on every single student. We talk about every student one at a time, and we use everything that we know about them and everything that we have. So we are continuously collaborating and communicating throughout the school year. We not only meet for this first meeting, but we have meetings between 6 and 8 weeks from that point all throughout the year to make sure that we are meeting the needs of every student as best that we can. And now I'm going to turn it over to Lara for goal number 2.
Hi, good evening. Our second goal, talks about a caring culture. So Bolton Center School will foster a responsive, caring, and inclusive culture and collaborative relationships. So for our strategic actions, we have communicating and building relationships with families. We have a good communication tool for using Parent Square. We also have each grade level sending home bi-weekly newsletters, giving updates about what's going on in the classroom, and opportunities for participation and other ways to communicate what the successes are. We host family events to strengthen school and family partnerships. So we have our winter family night that will be coming up in March. There's always an art show in the spring. And then we have a number of musical concerts, band and chorus concerts. And we've even had some new opportunities with different types of concert presentations where students can perform their own music as well. We monitor attendance and implement interventions. I know that Mr. Giard and Mrs. Keller are always checking in with any students that have attendance issues. Facilitating town hall meetings, Mr. Giard and Mrs. Kelleher met with students from each grade level to get input on what they were interested in, what their thoughts were, and then held town hall meetings with each grade level on October 3rd. And that was a big success, getting the perspective from the students. We also implement social emotional learning. We have PBIS and second step in grades kindergarten through 8. And then we also foster relationships between students across grade levels and schools. We have building buddies where older grade levels will meet with younger grade levels and do activities, read books. And we know that we have the 8th graders that went up to the high school already. And that's really their first opportunity to go during the school day. And that was a nice, successful trip.
Goal number 3 is talent development. Bolton Center School will encourage a learning environment that emphasizes excellence and recruits, develops, and supports, retains high-quality staff. Our admin, they meet with new staff several times a year. New staff is also assigned a mentor and the instructional coach will come in and model lessons and strategies. But just from knowing all the people that I work with every day, like we try to do our best to make new staff feel welcome in the room. I don't just, even talking to Jamie, who's new in the building, she's like, where's that coffee machine? Like, you just don't know those sorts of things, or where's the bathroom? So we always try to make sure that we are there to help new staff as much as our administration. We are going to be supporting and helping new staff build capacity, again, through our instructional coach to come in, through PLCs, providing job embedded professional development aligned to meet the needs of today's learners. So we as a staff really want to thank the board because we recently had one of our early release PD days. And we get so much done during that time. So we really want to thank you. It's an invaluable time. We know we have the full day PD days, but those half days that you give us are really appreciated. In our recent full day PD day, we continue to learn more. We learned about a data analysis tool and also some tech tools. We are going to be maximizing our PLC time to improve student outcomes. We have weekly PLC meetings, which is where grade levels come together to meet with administration and the instructional coach to talk about any needs that they need, any issues that they're having, successes, things like that. And then we are utilizing our 4th Tuesday and staff meeting times to support teaching and learning. And part of that goes with the ILT team where we get together and we talk about what are the needs of the building, what should we be doing next? You know, should it be personalized learning? Do we need a specific PD day or a specific PD for staff based on the needs?
And this year we have a fourth goal, resource stewardship, which makes us align with the district strategic plan. And that goal is that Bolton Center School will champion the needs of the school system and be responsible stewards of the public's investment. So the action steps for this are collaborating within departments and teams to identify needs. So recently, department leaders met with grade levels to identify needs in preparation for, preparing their budgets. Developing a fiscally responsible school budget for the 26-27 school year. And also partnering with the PTA and other community organizations to provide new opportunities, enrichment opportunities, activities, and support existing programs. And as you had previously mentioned, recently we had the walkathon that the PTA planned, and it was extremely successful and raised a lot of money, almost $24,000, which then go for school enrichment activities. And we're very grateful as a school to the PTA for their level of commitment and support. That's it. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have any questions on the BCS portion of this?
The only thing that struck me was, as you look through the resource stewardess section, thinking about our conversation at the 3 board meeting on grants and just the awareness for how big grants can make an impact in a town like this. Our budgets are, constrained. So just keep that top of mind if anyone becomes aware or wants to, kind of search around for what might become available for their respective areas. It's just an area that, the 3 boards, I think, need to dive into a little bit more. So yeah, just a comment there.
Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to introduce the high school team. Mr. Air, Fine Arts, Jen Carvalho in Science. You guys can stand. I know it's a repeat for some of you. Stephanie Fauché, Health and PE, Tajin Santi, Student Support, Chris Jones in CTE, our librarian, Mickey Klepper, Chris Palace in World Languages, Abby Sokol, who could not join us this evening, Social Studies, and Sunny Singh in Math. And did I skip Colin?
Yeah.
Wow. Hi, Mr. Dennis. Please stand. And now I'll introduce Jen and McGee to do our presentation. Thank you.
Well, our first one is student success. Our goal is to continue to foster student success through comprehensive system of structures and supports. Some new things, we have school links this year, which students are using. It's like instead of Naviance. So they're using that. Obviously continuing with Parent and Student Square, MTSS, which Jen will talk about in a little bit. And then we have something new called Senior Seminar, which seniors meet with on one of the capstone advisors, Laura Goulet, and then we have our portfolio, digital portfolio with Carolyn Tagma. So they meet with us mandatory once a month by invitation, a second time if they are not getting their work done. And that's a new support system for them for capstone portfolio. And then Mr. Giasanti also meets with them for post-secondary. And obviously all of this is just to help, the smooth academic transition and everything.
Yeah. All right. School culture. So our goal is to continue to foster a positive and supportive school culture that promotes high expectations for student achievement. We have a variety of action steps for this goal. So as McGee mentioned, MTSS is still a big focus, which kind of spans all 3 of our goals for this year. But in terms of school culture, we are looking at some tier 1, which are the universal strategies and shared practices that really kind of get to that cultural side of things, not so much maybe the academic performance aspect. So our focus area for quarter 1 is to greet every student by name, which sounds like something very simple. But really it's just a way to ensure that every student, every child feels seen, no one feels invisible. If you're being addressed by your first name on a daily basis by multiple adults in the building, you can't help but feel like you belong to the community. So that's one of the big changes we've started this year, and it's actually one of our district-wide shared practices. Another change that we are making, actually our first one is next week. is we have built in monthly enrichment opportunities during our Connections Advisory block. So every month, teachers will volunteer to host a variety of enrichment activities that students can choose to participate in if it's something they're interested in. Normally, our Connections time is focused on the senior seminar activities, students doing retakes, getting extra help. But once a month, we wanted them to have the opportunity to connect with other adults in the building, connect with students from other grade levels around a common interest. So next week, we have our first batch of enrichment activities. We are currently offering yoga, pickleball, introduction to musical theater, pumpkin painting, and book bedazzling, which McGee can give you info on that one if you want to know more about that. So a variety of physical activities, arts and crafts, but again, really just under the guise of just building that cultural and that positive atmosphere at the school. And then continuing, obviously going along with just communicating student successes, highlighting them on our TVs in the lobby, our bulletin boards, Instagram posts, the social media presence, and really just kind of celebrating the everyday aspects of being a student at Bolton High School. Goal 3 is based on instructional practices. And our goal is to continue to cultivate a professional learning community that collaborates to improve instruction, student performance, and achievement. Again, we see MTSS percolating to the top of this goal as well. Really looking at how can we support teachers in the building and helping them implement a lot of those universal strategies and tier 1 supports in the classroom. We're also looking to expand our peer observations. They went very well last year, met with a lot of positive feedback from everyone on the faculty. So looking to include more peer observations with specific focus areas. We just conducted our first one the past couple weeks. We identified a need for exploring collaboration in the classroom and group work and how to make it meaningful for every student in the group. How can you structure your groups maybe in different ways? So we all went out and observed our colleagues, when they were doing group work and, just debriefed afterwards in our PLCs. What did you take away? What could you maybe try to implement in your class? So that's just one example of, how we use those peer observations. Really, our PLCs are where a lot of this instructional practice work and improvement is taking place. We are fortunate to meet weekly for an 80-minute block every week, where we're able to identify what needs we have in the building at that time. As we said, group work was something that kind of popped up at the beginning of the school year, and we're able to look at ways to kind of pool our resources, focus on strategies, ways to improve, what we're doing in the classroom, how students are performing in our classroom. So really just taking advantage of that PLC structure and our half-day PD days and full-day PD days. For example, McGee just led a great session on Tuesday. It's been a long, short week. About ways to effectively use AI from the teacher perspective in the classroom and just different strategies we can try. So we're always looking at what's new out there, what can we incorporate, and really using the structures we have in place to kind of dive into that. And then always continuing to look at assessment practices and our grading policies and just a lot of collaborative conversations about how to just always grow and make things better.
All right, so I know we mentioned this, but when is this all happening? So PLCs, team and grade level meetings, staff meetings, fourth Tuesdays, early release. I know they mentioned it, and again, same with us, we get so much done during those early release PD days and the full day. Just being able to sit with each other, and even like this time I got to talk with some of the 8th grade teachers, which was amazing. And then I went on to the humanities teachers, which I work with a lot, but then just to talk about, our transferable skills and how everything's interconnected in all these classes and stuff that's happening in band that I didn't know and art. So it's just great use of time that we appreciate that we have built into the calendar. Then we have our TVAL goals that everybody is working on, and then of course our leadership meeting.
Any high school questions?
I just want to echo what Carol said, my group. I mean, if you could have been a fly on the wall for all the work that got done on a Friday afternoon and a Tuesday after a long weekend, it was really mind boggling. And it was all of their ideas and all of their hard work pulled together. So I want to thank my team as well. Thanks.
Thank you.
So it has been a busy October. And one of the things I think the board is aware is that we've made a conscious effort to initiate some of those grade 8 to grade 9 activities sooner this year. So we have already accomplished quite a bit. I went to both schools and did a question and answer with the students. I did a presentation and then took their questions. Amazing questions from them. Very interactive. We also did a survey, a quick paper survey. Again, in both schools we visited, and we used those surveys to drive what we did bullet number 3 when Bolton Center and Horace Porter students came and visited us. So their questions, their areas of interest is what was reflected on those 2 days. I did schedule a visit from the Horace Porter administrators to here. They have had to reschedule. That hasn't happened yet, but that is something that we did make that connection on. This is your cue, Mrs. Buckley. We published the new informational and departmental highlight documents that are coming around now. And some of that and other things have been reflected on a new page on the website, which is all about BHS, or you can get to it directly with that URL. As our student reps mentioned, we had a fantastic, again, very engaging, lots of questions for the grade 8 open house. It's actually the first grade 8 open house that every single family that came brought their 8th grader. Never happened before. And that was awesome. And as mentioned, the 8th graders are going to be invited or have been invited by Ms. Carvalho, have been invited to join the SpongeBob musical.
I just want to quickly talk about one of the bullets from the other slide. The other day, the 8th graders came up to the high school. Mr. Maselli and his team did a phenomenal job touring the building. There was parts of the building I hadn't seen, the weight room, the art room. It was really an outstanding experience. And the students who were part of that tour really sold to me, and I work here, how amazing Bolton Public Schools is. And they spoke articulately, they performed music, they really told the story of Bolton High School very well. It was a pleasure to be a part of it. Some ongoing and future grade 8 information and recruitment activities that we're planning and we have coming up. BCS morning announcements. Mrs. Kelleher regularly announces BCS events that are happening, sporting events, and BHS. And the students have really liked that because they want to go and see some of those sporting events, and it really connects them earlier on with the high school. Pass for all BHS events provided to all 8th graders and for Horace Porter students as well. So they have free admission to basketball games, performances, all of that. So that's a really nice touch. Expanded efforts for grade 8 and 9 teacher collaboration. We had a PD day recently with 8 and 9 teachers in this room came together by content area to talk about that vertical articulation for curriculum, expectations, homework, rigor, all of those things. It was a very rich conversation. We're going to move forward and have future meetings throughout the year to really make it as smooth as possible for our 8th, 9th grade students. BHS team to continue visits to 8th grade. So it's not a one-off. High school staff has been down to the center school a few times already this year. We did the visit up here, and it's going to continue throughout the school year. BHS and BCS planning a 7th grade visit. So this spring, 7th graders are going to come up and visit the high school. So really connecting them even earlier with the high school. The BHS team to participate in Horace Porter High School Fair. Planning for BHS students to tutor and read at BCS. So we have some new ideas in the works where high school students could come down at the end of their day because their day ends earlier to help tutor in study hall to some of the middle school students. So that's in the works. And I think that'll be a great way for students to connect and give some support that would be greatly appreciated. Personal outreach to Columbia families, tours, info sessions. And lastly, we're continuing to brainstorm and add new ideas. I know there was the 3-board meeting and there's things talked about there and ideas. And we're constantly at every meeting thinking about how can we promote Bolton High School? How can we connect our students, Columbia students, to that amazing high school experience here in Bolton?
Thank you. I'd like to thank the whole team, all the work that, it's incredible when you get behind the curtain and you see all the work that goes on a day-to-day basis to make Bolton Public Schools what it is. So I really truly appreciate all your efforts. Our children are really fortunate to go to school in Bolton. I really believe that. And it doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of your intentional work and the things you do above and beyond. And that's what makes this such a special place. The retention and recruitment efforts are off to an awesome start. I think we have a lot of really good things going right now. The challenge for us is how can we build on that positive momentum that we've created? And I like Principal Giard's message about continuing throughout the course of the year, staying connected to those kids as much as we can. So we're having ongoing conversations and brainstorm ideas about how we can continue to reach out to students that go to Horace Porter. They have 50-something eighth grade kids. They were all awesome. They were really engaged here, asked a lot of really good questions. So we want to capitalize on that excitement. And Mr. Maselli and I are going to be reaching out to Columbia families individually and offering them private tours of the building, weekends, nights, whenever they want to come. As much as we can do to make them feel like this is their school and their community and make them feel a part of this, because we know how much kids want to be a part of something. And we believe that being part of Bolton High School is something special. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that we get the word out there, how great we are. We're also working on a promotional video to highlight the day in the life of a Bolton High School student. I'm really excited about that. And so we have a lot of good things in the works, and I appreciate everybody's efforts putting that together.
Yeah, I'd like to echo the words. Thank you all for your leadership and help to improve what is already an outstanding place to go to school. I know that we all appreciate it on the board, and I think people in the community, the more they find out, the more they will appreciate it as well. So, I think I'll leave right if you. Yeah, free to leave. So choose. Thank you all for coming, and we all appreciate your efforts again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
A, B, or
Nice to meet you.
Right.
okay, I know more.
I just find that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, that was Ian.
Yeah, I'm gonna do update on it.
Okay. All right, moving along.
All right. Those of you staying, thank you. For the rest of the report.
Oh.
You're more than welcome to stay.
Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you. So as I sent a message out to the board as well as at Bolton Center School, and then continuing out through the high school. So a big celebration for the district as a whole. My thunder got stolen a little bit with PTA sponsored events, but Booster-thon was fantastic. I'm sure it was wildly entertaining seeing people dressed up in different things. It was fun for us. It was really fun for the kids to see us and get a kick out of that. So that was neat. Thank you for Corey the Dribbler coming in. Really, when you can hold 7th and 8th graders' attention for 45 minutes or so, that's impressive. And he had them locked in, not only with his entertaining dribbling, but with his life message about perseverance, working hard, accomplishing your goals, talking about how much practice he had to put in to get to where he was. I think really resonated with some of the kids. So a lot of positive feedback from adults and students. I taught some teachers that were reinforcing that message in the classroom too. So I think that's also really important when we have learning opportunities that may occur outside the classroom. How do we reinforce those in the classroom so kids are hearing that consistent message? Very excited to report. I hosted my first student chat yesterday. I met with a small group of 12th grade students, and I asked them some questions about their experience here at Bolton High School, their experience in Bolton Public Schools. 2 of the students happen to be students that currently live in Columbia and are coming here from Columbia. And at the top of all their lists, when I asked them highlights of going to Bolton Public Schools, they listed the teachers. All of them said the adults and the teachers that they made connections with. They really appreciate the level of trust and responsibility and freedoms that they're given at the high school. They happen to all really like the small atmosphere and the small classes, and the teachers really getting to know who they are as learners and who they are as people outside the classroom. So they spoke really highly of that. It was neat for them. It was neat for me to listen to their stories and different perspectives. So I'm going to continue to do that. My hope is once every week or two, I'm going to meet with a different group of students. I'm going to start with all the seniors, and then I'm going to work my way down through the rest of the high school. I have found that speaking to students about their experiences, you can learn a lot about the school because ultimately it's their school. It's their experience, and we're here to try to make their experience as positive as possibly can. This morning, Bolton High School hosted our largest college fair ever. Really well attended. I have a couple pictures I took of it. The gymnasium was filled with tables for over 80 presenters.
There are 89 presenters and 7 no-shows. So we were ready for 95 people.
So that was really impressive. What was equally impressive is the job that the staff did getting the kids ready. So students knew what questions to ask. They were prepared with notepads, most of them. Some of them kind of took the tour, but I asked a few students, like, how it was going. And a lot of them said things like, I did a lot of active listening. I gave a lot of eye contact. I shook hands, which was really good. Those are a lot of soft skills, obviously, we want our kids to have, as well as asking important questions about, is it a big school, small school, all those types of things. So we had students of different grade levels attend that college fair. So some of the younger students getting just some exposure to some of the colleges that are out there. We had colleges from Chicago and some from distant places also, which was kind of neat. So that was really good. Somebody earlier tonight mentioned the coffee and conversation that we had last Tuesday. Mr. Forney and I hosted, and we had a really good turnout. I think we've done a few of these now, and the participation from the public is really good and has been really informative to us as we plan our budget and plan different things for our school moving forward. So we're going to continue to have those and hope that the turnout continues to be really good and positive and gives us a lot of good information. With that being said, our budget development process is in the works. Casal is hard at work behind the scenes, behind 3-4 computer screens sometimes, I think, plugging away. And I appreciate the work that the buildings are doing right now, really trying to identify what kids need and what the staff needs. And we certainly want to be fiscally responsible. We're also very committed to making sure that our teachers have the resources and the tools they need to make sure that our students are provided with the supports and the instruction that they need and deserve. We have a transportation contract that's expiring. Casal right now and I are preparing the RFP for that. So I was looking forward to getting going on that. The religious holidays and school events, the senior leadership team and I met, I think, a couple weeks ago, and we had a conversation about all the things that happen in school on a daily basis and throughout the course of the school year. There are many, many things. If you don't work in a school, it's hard to understand all the things and the complexity of our schedules. So there's a lot of events, testing windows, things like this we have to adhere to. With that being said, we certainly want to be respectful to all the religious holidays out there. And while we may not be able to schedule everything around everything, we're going to make every effort we possibly can to make sure that we're not scheduling any of our special events, booster-thon, things like that, on days where religious holidays are happening. So I appreciate the comments from the public. We hear them loud and clear, and we've already put things in motion to make sure that we do our best to avoid those situations in the future. I'm really excited. We've solidified a facilitator for a Board of Ed workshop scheduled for this December. Looking forward to getting together with the board as a new superintendent, and we will have some new board members and getting us all on the same page and making sure that, again, we're working collectively as a group for the best interest of the district. I talked about strategic planning already. Professional learning update. Monica, are you still here to talk about that? Or would you like me to do that?
She is not still on.
She's not. Okay. So we had, I know it was mentioned already with the half day and full day professional learning. I'm just going to try to give a quick little overview. Some of the key things that went on were data-wise protocol, which simply means looking at student performance data, looking at different pieces of data from students and identifying what our strengths are and where we need to focus some additional attention. So sometimes that's really impactful to let us know if we need to spend more time on fluency or or something different, and then we can adjust our instruction accordingly. So having those ongoing discussions about our data is really, really important. And having new and innovative ways to do that is very helpful in the efficiency of that process. High school teachers partook in PSAT training on Friday. And then they got some exposure to, along with the BCS teachers, with AI prompting on Tuesday. Also for might can say for the first time, maybe in a while or ever, the middle school 8th grade teachers and the high school 9th grade teachers got to meet together for a little bit. We know in schools the transition grades can be really challenging for kids and adults. So we want to make sure, the teachers actually want to make sure that they got together to talk about things that 9th grade students are experiencing that maybe the 8th grade teachers could spend a little more attention to when they're in 8th grade. And then the 8th grade teachers sharing with the 9th grade teachers, what they're doing to prepare, and then what the 9th grade teachers might be able to do to better support them on that transition. In talking to some of the 9th grade kids this year, I think the transition overall has been really smooth. But it always brings about different challenges for different students. We just want to make sure we're aware of those. So having those 8, 9 teachers be able to meet and talk about that stuff was really, really good. Our specialists and our support team working on the MTSS framework, again, in a nutshell, that's just making sure that we're meeting the needs of every single one of our students. And in order to meet those needs, we need to be able to identify those needs. And so making sure that we have the things in place where we're identifying whether it's social emotional needs, academic needs, and making sure that we're putting the appropriate support systems in place for those students. Overall, really positive day and a half of professional learning. As you heard from a couple of teachers, they really appreciate the time. The time is used really wisely and beneficial to do the things that they're doing in the classroom, because if you ask any teacher, there's never enough time for all the planning they have to do. And so we appreciate the time that the board gives on those half days on Fridays. And a shout out to Ms. Jill Casper and the administrators for putting together a nice day and a half of professional learning for our teachers. That concludes my update.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone who has any questions before we move on?
Any idea when we're gonna start receiving bids for the transportation contract?
I don't know, Casal, timing wise, once we get the RFP out, when will we start receiving bids, you think?
Well, right now we're drafting it, and we have to get it over to legal, and then we get it back from legal, and then we have to post it. Typically, that from when we post it, it's about a month.
Okay.
Between putting it out there.
And so hopefully we'll get it to legal, get it back within the next few weeks.
Brings timelines before it all gets done, so it's approximately a month before we get the bids.
Do we have an idea if our current transportation company is gonna put in a bid and re-up?
They are planning on putting their bid, yes. Mhm. We met a few weeks ago and he expressed a serious interest in continuing our partnership. Cool.
Did we cover item 5A?
Oh, yes, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I rearranged things and so the state came out with a new requirement for superintendents that requires superintendents to have this report to the board in the fall with these 3 items. So you have them in front of you. The first item is number and names of all community-based organizations with which the BOE has contracted to provide services to students in the school district that's aggregated by school and type of support service provided. Currently, we do not have any of those. The second item is the workforce development programs offered by the BOE to support students that involve partnerships with outside entities, including arrangements such as co-ops, internships, in-school job training programs, in-school workforce board presentations. So as you can see in the right-hand column, annual manufacturing trailer visit from Goodwin, manufacturing program partial day with Goodwin eCamp, trips to Manufacturing Mania, Lincoln Tech, Eastern Nursing Programs, Amplify Youth Coalition, Bolton Prevention Council, and then job sites for students in our transition program, including trips to CVS, Walgreens, and the Town of Coventry Fire Department, TCFD, and the Manchester Food Bank. And then the third one is the attrition data for certified and non-certified staff that's aggregated by school and subject. So you can see that in there, there was a total of 4 certified staff members and 6 non-certified staff members that left and we hired. This is just for the board's information.
What's an example of something that would be an item one? Is that would be like, if we had like a co-op with like a local farm or something, or like, what would be an example of that?
Good question.
There was a youth services bureau based out of Hebron that Kristen had been
Yeah.
talking to us
Oh,
about and the town about trying to contract. I think there's some involvement with the town that has to happen for that. I'm sure that would fall under it.
Yes, that certainly would. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for speaking.
Any other questions? Alrighty. Moving along swiftly, we have no unfinished business, we have no new business. Do we have future business? Not usually.
First position for the group.
I guess we can briefly mention that we are looking into. For future business, we are going to be forming a temporary building commission to get the roof project going, which was subject of much discussion at the board meeting. We will be looking to move on that for next month. And actually, I toured the roof with the superintendent and John Butramovich yesterday morning to try to assess the urgency and scope of the work, which is fairly urgent, and we will be needing a building commission to really dive into, but that is future business that we will have for next month. Okay, now looking for a motion to go into executive session for discussion on possible action to ratify the administrator's contract and to invite the superintendent. Any questions? So, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Thank you all for coming this evening.
Recording stopped.
We are back to all the viewers out there. We are looking for now a motion to ratify the tentative agreement with the administrators union. Actually, I'm sorry, that was. Let me start over again. I'm looking for a motion to ratify the tentative agreement between the Bolton Board of Education and the administrators union.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Is there anyone opposed or abstaining? Motion passes unanimously, and we're now looking for a motion to adjourn.
So.
Questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
No opposed or abstaining. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.